It's clear that the year 2026 will be a year of major and unexpected transformations. While the world thought that the division of Syria had become a reality, something inevitable, today this scenario officially disappears. Today, for the first time, Syrian government forces entered the heart of Hasaka city. The Rojava project disappears. Completely. But with this development, with this historic victory that took place in the northeast of Syria, we find that southern Syria is igniting once again. The Suwaida region is igniting once again with an open and clear Israeli plan. Today we'll answer this terrifying question. Will Trump do it and sacrifice Netanyahu, like how he sacrificed Mazlum Abdi? And what does Erdogan have to do with this upcoming political earthquake? This will be our topic today. Stay with us. Dear viewers, peace be upon you and welcome to our program today. In this renewed meeting, God willing, from the series of opinion episodes. So dear viewers, today was a historic day for Syria, a historic day for the Arab and Islamic nation, another historic day. One of Syria's historic days, Great Syria, because today, dear viewers, the so-called Rojava project is officially evaporating today, and with it, the project of establishing the Greater Kurdish state is also evaporating. So today, dear viewers, for the first time in about 15 or 14 years, for the very first time, the first batch of the Syrian government's internal security forces enters the city of Al-Hasaka, into the heart of this separatist project. Rojava's capital is the center of separatist activity in Syria, to begin the first real and strong step toward unifying Syria and forming a unified Syrian state. And therefore, the return of Al-Sham, the revival of Al-Sham's historical prestige and strength. Now that these areas in eastern Syria have rejoined the Syrian state and stability has been achieved or will be in the coming hours and days, that will definitely happen then. All eyes will turn toward this new separatist entity, which has started to take shape with strong Israeli support in southern Syria. Exactly, I mean, we're talking about the area or the province of As-Suwaida. At the same time, it is being achieved. The Syrian government forces, major successes in the northeast. We find the south boiling. These clashes between government forces and the separatists have returned again. The protests are back. The protests that call for secession and for the establishment of a Druze state friendly to Israel in Suwaida, the protests that raise the flag of secession in Suwaida and the flag of Israel. This raises many questions today about the fate of this separatist minority at that time. The situation there is entirely different from that in the northeast. The separatists there have full support from Israel, while America rejects them. America has completely refused to support the Israeli project in Syria. It has fully rejected this separatist project. This has now put America in, let's say, a very difficult position, because confrontation is inevitable. Just a few days or weeks and all eyes will turn to Suwaida. So who will America support? Will it side with Ahmad al-Shara's Syrian government? Or with the Israeli government, Netanyahu's government? Just so everyone knows. How many Druze are there in Syria? They are about 500,000 people. 500,000 people are spread between As-Suwaida and areas near the capital Damascus. They want to break away from Syria. And not all of them pay close attention. Lebanon has around 250,000 Druze. There are about 120,000 Druze in Israel. Meanwhile, there are about 150,000 other Druze from the expatriate community spread across a number of countries around the world, like America, Canada, Germany, and Venezuela. That means we're talking about a total of around 1 million or 1.5 million Druze approximately. Most of them oppose separation and back a unified Syrian state. That means we're talking about a very small number today who are causing these problems, demanding separation from Syria and receiving support from Israel, a very small number. This is happening with open support from Israel, as I said, even recently. As everyone is following, it intervened militarily and carried out airstrikes against the Syrian forces that were in clashes with those separatists. Israel views the Druze in Syria as a brotherly people. They see them as brothers to Israelis. In fact, a large number of them have fought and still fight today alongside Israeli forces in Gaza or in various other areas. Many of them also serve in Israel's security forces. So that's on one hand, and on the other hand as well. We find that Netanyahu, he has very big ambitions. He seeks to achieve the Greater Israel map. And in order to achieve this map, at least to achieve part of this map now, and Netanyahu enters the door of history, or history through its widest door, he targets two regions exactly. He targets Lebanon and Syria. He targets southern Lebanon, the occupation of the area known as south of the Litani River. And he also sets his sights on southern Syria, occupying the entire southern Syrian region. So in order to achieve this, he is provoking on two levels, with the first in southern Lebanon. He strikes and bombs southern Lebanon almost daily. Even though there is a ceasefire agreement between Israel and this Lebanese party, he is just waiting for a response from the Lebanese party so he can use that as a pretext to invade Lebanese territory and annex this area. South of the Litani River. And the second level, in southern Syria, whether it's this occupation that took place in several areas near the Golan and reached the outskirts of Damascus, or by aiding and using the Druze separatists. He supports the separation of Swaida, provides them with military and financial support, encourages them to do so, and is only waiting for the Syrian government forces to move in this area so he can also use that as a pretext, claiming that he is protecting the Druze minority. He intervenes militarily by invading and occupying all of southern Syria. This scenario, the confrontation is definitely coming. But here we return again to this question: who will America stand with then? Is it possible for them to stand with al-Shara? Is it possible for Trump to abandon Netanyahu, just like he abandoned that entity that was in the northeast of Syria? Is it possible for America to abandon the Israeli project just like it abandoned the Rojava project? Just weeks ago, if we had asked all the political experts, and we asked them, is it possible for America to abandon the Kurdish state project? They would have said, that's impossible. Just a few weeks ago, everyone was saying this is impossible. Everyone was saying that America could never completely abandon this project no matter what happened. But that's what happened in the end. In the end, the American support was for the Syrian government. And here, pay close attention that when we talk about the Kurds, we are talking about a real people. We are talking about around 50 million Kurds in the world. About 50 million Kurds live across Syria, Iraq, Iran, and Turkey. Then there are also those from the Kurdish community in Europe and elsewhere. This project was one of the most dangerous separatist projects ever. Because here we are not talking about just a few thousand people. Not even 1 million or 2 million people, and yet America abandoned this project. We're discussing oil-rich regions. And rich in gas, these aren't poor areas. They have all the potential and resources they need. We're talking about areas rich in oil, gas, and many rare natural minerals. In addition to its strategic importance, despite that, America abandoned this project. Today, even the American forces in Syria will withdraw soon. And the Russian forces will also withdraw from Syria. This brings us back to the issue of Sweda and confirms to us that soon we will witness major transformations in the Middle East with the next confrontation in Sweda. It will be a decisive confrontation. It will be a key clash. What happened to the Kurdish separatists in Syria? It happened before with the state of South Vietnam. In the 1970s, it happened after that in Afghanistan. It also happened recently with Ukraine. It happened in many regions, so I'm saying the same thing will happen again with Israel. We also shouldn't ignore the current state of Turkey-America relations, especially between Trump and Erdogan. They now have, a very strong agreement. America's policies are now clear. Today it is focusing exactly on the Western Hemisphere, focusing on this conflict with Europe and Greenland, as well as the conflict with China, while leaving some other areas to other regional powers that Trump trusts. So, in the Middle East we find that there is now a very difficult equation. Today it is absolutely impossible to bring Israel and Turkey together. We've reached a stage of separation. Therefore, a day will come, and that day is near. America will have to abandon one of these parties, either Turkey or Israel. Security in the region has reached a point where it cannot be established. It can't go on with both of them there together. So here America naturally will choose whom? It will choose the stronger one. It will choose the one with the most influence in the region, the most trustworthy, the one who achieves American interests the most. It will pick whoever has more leverage. Erdogan has achieved major successes in recent years, most recently in Syria. Last week, Erdogan led a meeting in Ankara. It concerned Turkish national security. And during this meeting, Turkey's priorities were determined. During the next phase, how did these priorities come about? These priorities came with a clear direction exactly. From Syria to Gaza, from the Black Sea to the Horn of Africa. This gives a very clear impression that Turkish national security in the coming phase has become primarily focused on confronting Israel, confronting Israeli plans in Syria, Gaza, Libya, Sudan and Yemen, extending to the Horn of Africa, specifically Somalia. So this meeting sent messages, perhaps signals, strong signals, even to President Trump. Signals that Turkey will only operate in these areas, will not intervene, and will not oppose American interests in these conflicts that Trump is leading today, whether with the Europeans, in Greenland and so on, or with China, or in the Western Hemisphere, Greenland and Venezuela and so on in the Latin American region, or the issue of NATO and so on. Turkey is focusing on Israel, and even if it moves in other regions like Asia, it will only be for those areas it has identified. For example, entering into an alliance with Pakistan, or something like that. So the important thing is that the next confrontation, definitely the next round, will be in southern Syria, it will be in Sweda. That's where the confrontation will begin. If Israel doesn't comply with Trump's orders not to escalate the situation there, and avoid interfering in Syria's territorial unity issue, we will witness a clash then. Perhaps this clash will be the last part of the beginning of the scenario of demise. Today, all the indicators suggests that Trump will abandon this small state. He will abandon this small state at the first real confrontation in the region. Just wait and see how these coming days will be. Remember to subscribe and like. Peace be upon you and God's blessings. See you later.